Hey everybody, it's Patrick from Pat Paints Mini, and today we're just gonna try to make one kill team for the Grey Knights. So we're gonna start by using the black gloss primer from Green Stuff World. I like to use gloss primer when I'm going to use metal as a base color because it just helps to pop a little bit. Once the primer is dry, we're just gonna do the base color with some chainmail silver from Vallejo Color. It's quite a clear silver, but because we're gonna use some oil washes, I like to start lighter than I want to end up. And there you go! You finished your first Kill Team Grey Knight miniature. Okay, I guess we have still a couple steps to do. The first one is to use some bloody red to do the shoulder and to do all the seals on the miniature. Once this is done, we're gonna use Elfic Flesh to cover the base for the seals from the parchment paper. The next step will be using liquid gold. I really like this gold color because it's really liquid and it really goes into the little crevices and the little details of each figurine. The only thing is it is not acrylic color, so you will need to wash your brush with alcohol. Once the gold is dry, we're gonna use some black paints just to do all the parts in between the armor panel. Don't try to be too precise here. We can come back later and correct with some chainmail silver before doing the oil wash. So as I said, the next step is to do the oil wash. It's the second to last step that we're going to do today because it needs like 12 hours to fully cure. the last step we're gonna do today is the power sword. I'm cheating here a bit to do the power swords because I'm using a turquoise color, a bit metallic with some hammered effects. It's just gonna save us so much time than if we do non-metallic power sword color. So as the figurine needs to cure at least 12 hours, we're gonna do the base. To do so, we're just gonna take some cork as the base for the stones that we're going to make. The base color for the stone will be dawnstone, so don't try to be too precise here again. Just cover the whole thing with it and go to the next step. Once it's dry, we're going to cover the whole stone with Space Wolf Grey contrast color from Games Workshop. I really like this grey because it's a bit translucid and it really sells the effect of being a real stone. Once we're done with the stone, we're going to the base, and to give some separation between the ground and the stone, we're gonna use some Starland mud. It's just gonna help us sell a bit the effect of muddiness brought by the snow and everything. So don't try to be too precise. If you put some on the stone, it's not a big deal because we can easily imagine that some mud will be a bit everywhere anyway. Once the whole thing is dry, we're just gonna do a dry brush of elfic flesh. So quite a heavy one because we're gonna cover it with snow after anyway, so don't be too shy with it. Once the dry brush is done, we're just gonna mix some PVA glue with some water, just so the snow flock that we're gonna use attached to the base. So we're just gonna mix it up, use an old brush that we don't like anymore, that it's ruined anyway, so don't use your fancy one from Squidmore or I don't know where. Just use the oldest one you have, mix it up, put it on the base, just dump that base in the pot of flock, and there you go. You have the first layer of snow. we're going to try to have different textures. So once we're done with the first one, we're just gonna dump some flock directly in the mix we did before with the PAVA glue and the water. It's gonna sell an effect of a bit of a snow that is slowly melting, and it's gonna be more realistic to have different kind of snow in the base. The last thing we're gonna do to sell a bit of realism is put some tufts of grass inside the base. We're gonna use some glue, we're gonna put the tufts on it, and we're gonna put some leftover snow that we have from the previous step on the grass, and it's gonna sell the whole effect. We just need to paint that trim black, and we're done with the base. "12 hours later, back to the miniature, we're gonna use Agaro's Dune contrast paint on all the seals. And then we're just gonna use cold white to start the eye effect that we want to finish later. We're also gonna try to make really thin lines of black on all the purity seals just to sell effect of the writing. It's not my strong suit, but well, just do like me, try your best. We're gonna try to do a couple highlights for the red with the vermilion. It's a color from Varjo Model Color. I really like it, and it really is pretty effective for the highlight. We're gonna finish the eye with some contrast paint, the Aethermatic Blue from Games Workshop. And as you can see, having white underneath it really helps to sell the effect. The second to last step to finish the miniature is going to put the transfer. So I'm just putting some varnish on top. I'm gonna put some water, and then I'm gonna grab the transfer that I put previously on some paper sheets with some water with a brush, and we're just gonna really delicately put it where you want to be. So as you can see here, we're just gonna leave it. We're gonna do the same with the second one. You can see you can help yourself with a dry brush to deposit it. Once it's there, as long as it's not dry, you can just place them where you want. Once it's there where they are, just wait, let it dry, and put some matte varnish on top of it so it can cure and it's not gonna stand out too much. The last step we're gonna do for this miniature is to pin it in the base, so we're sure that it's never gonna move away. So we're just drilling some holes on the bottom of the feet, putting some metal in it, and then we're gonna drill some holes in the base, helping us with little guides with color on the bottom of the metallic pieces. We're gonna glue him inside, and there we are. He's ready to go. Do that 4 more times, and then you're gonna have a kill team of 5 members for 98 points. And there you go. I hope you liked it. If it's the case, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and see you next week.